Okay, welcome back guys to another one of my Rome Total War commentaries. This time I'm playing as the Iceni, my noble Britons, who are going up against Parthia on the Pella map. So, anyway, this was an interesting game. And not interesting in the sense that there were lots of kills, but interesting because of two play styles which... okay. So this guy basically, he counter-picked me. I picked Iceni first and he went Parthia. I thought, fine, whatever. I'm going to play against him. So I'll show you what my army is. If you missed that, there may have been a dodge there. In the screen blip or something, I'm not sure. So I'll show you what my army is. Anyway, I have got 4 units of Chosen Sword Band, 3 units of Spear Band, 2 units of Chosen Spear Band, 4 units of Briton Slingers, 3 units of Heroic Riders, and 2 units of Briton Scout Cavalry. Now, I must admit, I came into this with some flawed perceptions, but anyway, I deployed in the forest. Why? Because I thought he's going to bring cavalry. He's going to bring a lot of it. And if I deploy in the forest, he's going to be stuck. This map, not great for cavalry admittedly, but it does have lots of open plains, and he is going to have a lot of horse archers. I was correct in that prediction. So, I brought enough missiles to defend myself, but not necessarily enough missiles to do anything more. So anyway, I actually bring my Briton Scout Riders out to try and catch his armoured horse archers, thinking they'd be fast enough to do it. And they're not far off, but they're not quite there before he reaches the main battle line. So this guy skirmishes with me. I probably should have gone for it, to be honest here. I pulled him back, but you can see they just about get ready to catch up just as these camel spearmen and the rest of his horse moves out. He has got a good number of noble blood cav. I think it's 4. 1 unit camel spearmen, 2 units of armoured horse archers, and then a unit of noble horse archers, 4 units of eastern slingers, 1 unit of Indian war elephants, 2 mercenary hoplites, and another 4 units of Parthian horse archers on this flank. So he's got 11 missile units to my 4, and he's got, well, I guess I've got 5 units of cavalry and he's got 5 units of cavalry, but he's got elephants and his cavalry are generally better quality. He doesn't have obviously as many infantry, and this is why I've deployed in the forest. It just favours me better, and it goes with the Celts. I am the Celts. I like my forest. I'm going to stick in it as much as possible. You see, these men, they're going to be pretty well protected in this forest. Now, me and this guy had a discussion about, oh, this map always turns into this. My counter-argument, he counter-picked the Iceni with skirmishing play. He has to move up and skirmish. But you'll see he'll move up, skirmish, see it isn't working, and he'll just retreat. He just decides, no, I'm not fighting this battle. I'm not going to charge. But you'll also see some more interesting things. So anyway, we're drawing up the battle line. I'm being stoic in my ability to defend this forest. I don't want to give it up. If I step out of the forest, I'm dead. As you can see, his horse archers already ripped to shreds my Briton Scout Riders. I try to do a little bit of damage by catching his noble horse archers here. It does nothing. I think it just... there's no point. I thought with all these heavy horsemen I'd be able to catch them quickly. That was why I brought the Scout Riders. Didn't quite work out like that. Anyway, let's resume with the battle. I've withdrawn my Heroic Riders into the forest as well because, I don't want them to get shot to pieces. We're drawing up the battle lines, and I'll just start replaying the battle here. Okay, so as you can see, he's moving up his line to start pelting me with as much missile fire as possible. That's pretty much what I expected. And he's trying to get at me from every flank. Now, what I have is... keep going. Ooh. Okay, so you can see here he starts doing stuff. He moves these horse archers up. I, in response, just move the spear band up to sort of cover my Briton slingers while they try and sling as many shots out onto these horse archers as possible. And you can see I'm doing a fair amount of damage. I just need to kill them. They're not too tricky. Similarly, here he brings up his horse archers, and I just reply with volleys of my pelting. And to be honest, as you can see, my men are pretty good in what they're doing. They're pretty well covered. He brings up his elephants. Now, his elephants stick there for quite a while. His Eastern Slingers are doing moderate amounts of damage to my Slingers, and my Slingers are not going to be able to hold off forever, but they sure as hell will be able to draw enough fire that I'll waste some of his ammo, and they're Slingers. They're not exactly the most expensive stuff. So I start designating my attack orders. You can see from above what I'm doing as I'm attacking some of his Slingers, but then I believe this unit is also pelting his elephants. His elephants are just getting rocked. And as you can see over here, I managed to actually kill one of his Parthian horse archers with one Slinger unit. This is where the forest is really giving me an advantage. It just stops me being slaughtered in the open field by missile fire. Now, I wasn't entirely convinced that firing at these elephants was the right thing to do. As you can see, they're pretty much sitting there just taking it to the face. You can see a couple of stones sitting around. But, you know, these guys don't seem hit, which is interesting. He moves his cavalry into the forest and sort of round this edge, and I don't care, to be honest. I know my back is pretty well protected. And actually, you can see here that my Slingers are not doing bad. They've already killed one elephant. This is only one unit of Slingers. This isn't multiple. So this just goes to show you can't just leave elephants under fire for as long as, you know, you like. And if he'd looked at his battle lines more than his cavalry, he probably would have noticed that they're dying. And I think quite a good part comes up soon. But anyway, he's moving his horse archers back up. Not much is happening. I do not feel the need to go out and fight his army yet. He's got elephants. I have lost a few Slingers here and there. If you can see, my Slingers are beginning to look tattered. One of them's routing. But here, his Indian war elephant still taking damage. Over here, his horse archers, similarly, just taking damage. I think I'd change their direction of fire shortly because they're currently caught in a bit of a crossfire. It's not long now, but as you can see, his elephants are, I could call them elephants. That's what they really are. His Slingers have taken a bit of damage, but I'd say, you know, I have got more kills at this point. And then, this is the funny bit, the stones make the elephants go run amok, and they run amok into his Slingers, and then into the back of his hoplites as well, until the point where he has to kill them off, which I think is fantastic. So my one unit of Slingers really did that, maybe two. But over here you can see I'm still pretty much destroying his horse archers on this side. And over here, yes, his men are taking some pot shots, I think at these chosen spear band. But these guys are pretty well armoured, and they're facing the right way, and they're in the forest. They're doing okay. I decide to leave them as they are and just soak up the damage. Here he's just firing at the spear band. This is a pretty cheap unit. I don't really care. It's in shield formation, shield wall, or shield screen, which is giving it, you know, quite a good bonus. And they're not dying too quickly. I'm just really trying to minimize the casualties and make his ammo as ineffective as possible. So anyway, this pretty much continues for a while until at this point I think he says, sod it, I can't win when you're in the forest, and says, oh, people always camp that hill. Well, yes, we do always camp that hill when you play Parthia with 1,000 horse archers and we have a nice handy forest to live in. It makes sense. It's strategic defense as well. It's not. It's really just countering what it was, a massive counter from him. But yeah, these guys are in a shield formation. They seem to be okay. Otherwise, he starts moving out. I have nothing more. But you can see this guy. He's barely got any ammo left, I don't think. He must have very little ammo left by this point. But he's moved out. He's got nothing left to do but go into melee. I decide, you know what, fine. If you want to attack me when I'm out of the forest, we can do this. So you'll see after a little bit of baiting, and just seeing how much he's patient, I move out. Now I'm aware the time is ticking, but I can't rush down a cavalry army. He's pretty much resigned already in my mind. He said I can't win this in the forest, and he's waiting for me to come out, and I don't really think I can win this in the open ground particularly, but fortune favours the bold, and I move my army out. My idea is to bring it to this straight here, where my flanks are both protected with the water. this would really just keep that cavalry charge and momentum down, and mean my men could do basically hand-to-hand fighting all the time. Over here I get a bit stupid, and one of my better Briton slingers actually gets pretty much pummeled by his own slingers, but I do also get another unit of Briton slingers in and start, you know, just killing his horse archers off, which is nice. I move my cavalry in to try and frighten the rest off. I do manage to rout one of his units. Now I'm going to come back to this. He's bringing up his noble blood cav, and I think his horse archers are still in this wood here. I've now moved into this part. I pretty much feel prepared. He could try and declare a charge, and you see he does send some men here, but instead I just turn these chosen spear band round, set them into shield screen, and put them right in the way of his horses. This means he just never goes in. Now I still have basically all my infantry and all my cavalry still left, and as you can see his cavalry is on the wrong side of the map. I use this advantage to go and try and push, take out some men essentially. You can see here I get a nice charge off on these slingers. Heroic riders into slingers, slingers rout. Really nice and quick. I get these guys out and they don't take too many casualties. As he pushes his hoplites forward to address this, I bring another cavalry unit round to take out these eastern slingers. Finally I send my general's unit to go and attack his Parthian horse archers. This is a bit of a long shot. I really don't expect this to work, but he is tired and I am active. I do try and catch him, but it's not quite going to make it. Now, here my heroic riders manage to rout off two eastern slingers again. I do get caught out by the hoplites, but I'm able to pull out because they haven't really addressed themselves properly. Here, I try and catch him. I'm really trying. I've got frenzied charge, but it doesn't quite reach, and I decide, so okay, I need to head back because his cavalry is looping round and looking to pick off my general. Now, we only have 3 minutes left in this battle, which is kind of depressing. Overall, this guy just picked to try and counter Iceni and then wouldn't even attack when he saw I was in the woods. I'm still trying to get my cavalry out, and as you can see, they're trotting through water at the moment. He is coming up on me, and he's trying to cut me off with this unit, but I'm able to just sort of loop round and get them back to the main fray in a minute. But as you can see, he's not really making any attempt to attack the main body of my army. He's trying to find pickoffs, but to be honest, I can just address these pickoffs every time. Set it to slow motion. So you can see here, he's got a chance to attack the general, but he doesn't, because he sees this entire infantry body moving forward. And overall, I found this game was a little bit annoying. If you pick a skirmish army, you have to skirmish. You can't just keep backing off and go, well, I'm, you know, I'm the skirmish army, you should come to me. No, you're a skirmish army, you're the one who lost all the initiative by picking up the cavalry. We're the infantry, we took our place, we didn't counterpick you. Now, as you can see, all my infantry are left, except maybe a couple of spear bands are a little bit damaged, but I've got more than enough infantry, I think, to deal with his cavalry. Not to mention the fact I also have cavalry. What I think was lame about this game is the fact that despite going onto a map where he knows forest is part of it, he picked a skirmishing army and then he wouldn't even commit once his ammo was down. You really should just commit and say, okay, in this case, GG, let's just fight it out. But if I'd pushed my infantry forward to attack, and I did, he didn't even attack then, which I thought was kind of lame. I brought him out, he should have just picked off, but it was just far too easy for me to spear box, put enough infantry around that could be supported, and he can't charge me. It's poor army selection, and as you're going to see in about 30 seconds, it's going to end in a draw because both teams. I mean, I tried. I'm the most aggressive one here, apart from him walking up to me on this hill. Apart from that, I basically pushed out. I attacked his elephants. I pushed out and did, you know. Ooh, I thought these guys were routing. I even pushed out to try and attack his hoplites. I've set up here. Yeah, sure, it's a good defensive position, but that's the map. Anyway, he tries to attack here. I come in here, but the game ends as a draw before anything else. So it goes to show, it's a little bit of a tedious game. I have to say, I don't really like this whole part of Rome. They did it with in Rome 1 as well, where they pick skirmish armies, and as soon as you pick a heavy infantry army that's got enough power to just blast the missiles, they'd cry about it. But hey, let's have a look at the stats and just see how many men I had left. So I had well over 1,000 men left, and he had no elephants. Whereas he had under 900, and a good portion of them were horse archers that weren't very good, or camel spearmen, or hoplites that wouldn't have lasted a minute against my chosen swords band. So I'm not sure how my chosen sword band actually got as many kills as they did, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. And as you can see, my Britain slingers, if we count up how much damage he did, I mean, most of the damage I did was via, I guess it would be the cavalry, but also slingers. But yeah, slingers did well. They definitely paid for themselves. So if you see these armies, just go into the woods, because I seriously hate these counter-picking people, and then they can't fight an actual skirmish battle. Once they've done skirmishing, they just cry. But hey, stay safe, guys, and I'll bring you more fights.